Hey everybody, it's Jo and welcome back to Trauma Talk. I wanted to take a few minutes today to talk to supporters of survivors and go through a few things that are really good to say to survivors of trauma if they share their story with you. It's really hard to speak up, and especially in this age of the Me Too movement and Time's Up, and in an age where a lot more people are finding the courage to tell their stories, which is so difficult to do. Sometimes I understand that it can be scary to know how to respond if you've never been in that position before. So I want to talk about a few good responses and why these can be helpful to your either family members or friends or whoever is talking to you about what they've gone through. Now, before we dive in, I would love if you'd hit subscribe. I release videos every Sunday and Thursday about life in the aftermath of trauma, and I will be here talking about it. I would love to see you here back on this channel. The first thing that is really helpful to say to a survivor of trauma when they express what has happened or a piece of their story is really simple. Just, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I know that there is a lot of pressure to feel like you almost have to fix it. A lot of people have expressed that to me. I personally am a survivor of sexual assault and domestic violence, and I've had a lot of really good reactions and a lot of really bad reactions over the years when I have talked to people. And I found that one of the simplest, easiest things that I've ever heard is someone just respond back with, "Wow, I am so sorry." Acknowledging the pain that someone has gone through is a great place to start. Secondly, if you say the words, "I'm here to listen," those words are so powerful because us as survivors often feel like no one wants to hear us, no one wants to listen, our story doesn't matter, our voice has been stolen, why would we even talk about this? And so if you can say in words, "Hey, I am here to listen to you. I'm so sorry for what happened and I'm here." That is a great place to take the conversation. Third, simple and maybe the most validating statement you can make is, "Man, I can't imagine what you're going through." So often as people, we try to draw comparisons when we hear stories, and if you haven't gone through what they're talking about, don't try to pretend like you have. I've had friends, when I told them that I was raped, compare it to, "Oh, I know what you feel like. I felt that way when my boyfriend broke up with me," in a situation that was not violent whatsoever. And that is so invalidating. It makes you feel like your story doesn't matter. It makes you feel like, why did I ever open my mouth in the first place? If instead of drawing comparisons, you can say, "I can't imagine what you've gone through," because you can't. You weren't there, you're not them. That is a very, very validating thing to say and can be so helpful to hear as a survivor. If you then follow that up with a fourth statement of, "I want to understand," that opens up the dialogue for them to explain further. So often, like I said, we feel like people want us to shut down. We feel like people don't want to listen to us. And so if you express to them clearly, "Hey, I can't imagine what you're going through, but I want to understand, so tell me." That is incredible to hear. In the moments when people said those things to me, I specifically remember those times because they made me want to sob because I so desperately needed to hear those words. And then lastly, tell them that you're not going anywhere. If you can let someone know, "Hey, I'm so sorry for what happened to you. I wasn't in your shoes. I'm here to listen. I want to understand, and I'm not going anywhere." That is an incredible way to begin a conversation. That's an incredible way to listen to someone. And then listen to their story and then be there for them and follow through with what you said. I do also want to note that when we're talking about stories and survivors of trauma, you probably aren't equipped to be their counselor. You're probably not equipped for questions that they might have. And so if you feel overwhelmed, or if they start, asking you things, or if we're dealing with things that you aren't ready for, just make sure that you help them along and say, "Hey, that's not something I'm equipped to answer, so let me direct you to someone who is. Let me help you find a counselor. Let me help you find a support group." Don't just ditch them. I know that it can be overwhelming. I know that it can feel like this is so much pain that someone is telling you and like you have to fix it, and that can often lead to people just leaving because it's uncomfortable and it's overwhelming. But if you can break it down and understand that it's not your job to fix them, it's just your job to be a friend, to listen, to be there, And I'll say again, to listen, that's a great place to start and a good understanding to have. So make sure you're taking care of yourself through the process of being there for them as well. I hope some of these were helpful to you guys. I am Jo Beckwith, and this is Trauma Talk, a channel where we talk about life in the aftermath of trauma. I make videos directed both towards survivors and supporters. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I release videos every single Sunday and Thursday. I would love to see you back here if you want to hit subscribe and like on this video. Thanks guys, I look forward to seeing you soon. Please take care of yourselves. Until then, bye.